All right. Welcome, everybody, to our special Father's Day event with Get on the Bus. We are so happy to have all of you joining us today. This is a chance to come together, even though we can't necessarily be together in person, and celebrate the importance of fathers and our loved ones who may be near or far today. Thank you all for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started with our event. And to kick things off, we have a message from the chair of the board of Center for Restorative Justice Works, John Kalin.
Hello. On behalf of the Center for Restorative Justice Works Board, the parent organization for Get on the Bus, I thank you for supporting CRJW and joining this, our virtual Get on the Bus Father's Day event. I'm John Kalin, chair of the CRJW board. Having first volunteered with my wife Kathy as a Get on the Bus coordinator, I've experienced Get on the Bus joys and frustrations for over 10 years now. I remember when I first heard about Get on the Bus, my reaction was, why take children to a prison to visit an incarcerated mother or an incarcerated father? Well, it only took one of those special Get on the Bus trips for me to observe and realize that every child, every boy and girl, wants and needs to know that their absent parent loves them, no matter where that parent might be. Over the years, I witnessed many examples of the love that Get on the Bus carries into those cold, institutional prison visiting rooms. I remember a Get on the Bus visit at San Quentin. An 18-year-old boy had recently graduated from high school. So excited and proud about his graduation and accomplishment that he brought his cap and gown to show his father and have his picture taken with his father. Both father and son, as they stood together, son in cap and gown, were so tearfully proud. And at Soledad, a 33-year-old daughter had never met or known her father. She found him on Facebook, contacted Get on the Bus, and flew from across the United States, from Atlanta, Georgia, to get on the bus. In the visiting room, she and her father sat across the table from each other like two long-lost friends, discovering that they had much in common and that both were poets. I had to remind them to take a break from their conversation and get some Get on the Bus food before it all disappeared. And I'll never forget another year at Soledad. One of the guards was a magician who was performing his magic tricks in front of a semicircle of children. I was standing behind the semicircle and heard an 8 to 10-year-old boy exclaim excitedly, "I love this place. I never want to leave." These are but a few of the moments in time that show us the transformative nature of Get on the Bus visits. They showed me how a cold, uninviting, institutional prison visiting room with armed guards positioned on an elevated platform is transformed by the love and joy Get on the Bus carries into the room. Those moments showed me that Get on the Bus gives children and families what they want and what they need. The children and families of the incarcerated are incarcerated children and families. Get on the Bus for a moment in time frees them from their incarceration. This evening, we share with you some of those special Get on the Bus moments and discuss the good work it takes to reach them.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first annual Father's Day event for the Center for Restorative Justice Works Get on the Bus program. My name is Mary Tilsher, and I am a regional coordinator and a child advocate. I'm a regional coordinator for the Central Coast of California, where I serve the dads who are incarcerated at the California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo. I began as a volunteer with Get on the Bus in 2009 through my church. And I was involved in every possible volunteer title. And then I had the great fortune of being hired as a regional coordinator for the Central Coast in 2017. It is my honor to host tonight and introduce you to some phenomenal, intelligent, hardworking people with huge hearts. Thank you for joining us. It's our second virtual event because we did a Mother's Day one in May, and we're grateful that our community has remained active and committed during COVID. A little bit of housekeeping notes. Get on the Bus updates. We are working closely with the CDCR and institutions to follow their policies on reopening and allowing visits. We encourage everyone to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we regularly share our updates. During COVID, Get on the Bus pioneered new ways to keep families connected during COVID, including Stay Connected kits, which connected children with their incarcerated parents through handwritten letters and video messages, like the Father's Day messages of 2021 that we're going to see later in the program. We are continuing to work with our families now that California has made video visits available on a monthly basis for the opportunity for family connection extends to all families. Please post your questions to Q&A rather than the chat. If you would like to share messages of hope and support for Get on the Bus, we will be providing a link on the chat throughout the evening, and put that on the chat, please. We have some exciting news to share. Get on the Bus was selected as a finalist for the LA 2050 Grants Challenge. Starting on Monday, the 21st, we need your vote. Please check to our feeds on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for links to the public vote, where we can help us become one of the LA 2050 winners. This is a chance for Get on the Bus to gain new support and recognition for our mission to support families in LA County and beyond. The voting is from the 21st to the 28th of June. So Get on the Bus does the amazing work of reuniting children with their incarcerated parents, allowing the healing process to begin. Families must agree to the visit, and moms and dads on the inside undergo a thorough screening check to make sure that they are eligible. It's a privilege for the men and women to participate, so they are very grateful for the opportunity. This organization is and will always be about the families. For the families, the visiting starts in the morning, very early, like buses leaving Oakland at 1:30 a.m. to get to the San Luis Obispo, California Men's Colony prison on time. For those families visiting any other prisons, they're still in for a long and emotional day. As one family in Oakland gets on the bus, a woman and her children board, but they are not empty-handed. Today, they bring homemade Italian biscotti, placed in wrappers and tied with purple ribbons, and they hand them out to all the volunteers and all the Get on the Bus families that are riding to the California Men's Colony with them. For some, the excitement is just too much, and they cannot contain it and don't get a wink of sleep during the bus ride to San Luis Obispo. In fact, for over half of the families, this is the one visit they will get each year. One day each year for a parent to hug their children. Let me tell you, you can't put a price on that. The buses arrive at CMC and the families filter through the check-in process to begin their visit. One teenage boy is there to see his father. The whole time they are visiting, their heads are resting on each other. The father holds his son's hand, strokes his hair lovingly, and says over and over how proud he is and of the son, in between shared laughter and tears. During this time, the prison is shut down to only Get on the Bus visitors. There is face painting, games, children run around laughing and playing, and they're being held by their family all visit long. Instead of vending machines, there is local warm pizza, fresh fruit, cold drinks, and Girl Scout cookies. A volunteer sees an inmate get up to get his family pizza, and she walks over and says, "Nope, not today. Today I will serve you." The simple act of generosity brings a grown man to tears. People describe it as a visit that almost makes you forget that you're in prison. There is dignity, There is appreciation, there is love. There is so much love. Love that transforms, love that outlives us all. Inmates who wouldn't even talk to each other are now introducing their family members to one another. The hours go by very quickly and a 4-hour visit is over. One woman leaving to get back on the bus is a 22-year-old nursing student. Her father's been incarcerated since she was 3. She saw him once when she was in junior high and once again on this visit. This visit, she has come anxiously on her own. As she left the prison, we asked her how her visit went, and she replies, it's one of the best days she's ever had in her life. She replies that just to know that even though her dad was locked up, he still loved her and was there for her, and he told her he thought about her every day. Get on the Bus allows this to happen. It allows families to begin the healing process and have a chance at a better life. These children have a lot on their plates. Many experience the trauma of witnessing their parents' arrest. And this organization is dedicated to uplifting humanity, especially those whom humanity shuns and pushes aside. Not only is this a special visit and often the only one they have all year long, but it helps our community in other ways. Studies show that if those that are incarcerated get visits from their family members, they're much less likely to reoffend. More than that, the children are less likely to continue the cycle of crime and violence. Get on the Bus helps unite and heal families. It gives hope. It provides laughter and connection. It reduces the stigma and increases the chance of success post-release from prison. Get on the Bus brings hundreds and hundreds of kids and their caregivers from throughout the state of California to visit their moms and dad in one of the 14 prisons that Get on the Bus serves. An annual event, Get on the Bus offers free transportation, travel bags, a photo of each child and their parent, meals for the entire day, a Stay Connected bag with a teddy bear and a love note from their mom or dad to read on the bus on the way home, at no cost at all to the families. The warden from Salinas Valley speaks of Get on the Bus. Get on the Bus is a blessing to our population and to our institution. That's where the magic happens. Get on the Bus provides hope, brings families together on a special visit unlike any other. If there's ever a day when we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever. By Winnie the Pooh. I would like to transition us now into have you enjoy the Father's Day videos for this Father's Day 2021 from the families on the outside to their very loved dads on the inside.
Daddy, happy Father's Day to Daddy. Happy Father's Day to Dad. What's poppin', Dad? I'm just making this quick little video to say happy early Father's Day at that, and that I love you and miss you. That I hope you're doing really well. And I love you and I miss you. I said it again. I'm gonna say it again. Love you and I miss you. I love you. I kiss you. And happy Father's Day. You love you. As you can see, Molly. Today's going good. Okay, happy Father's Day, Daddy. I love you. I hope you have a good Father's Day. I love you, Daddy. Bye, Daddy. Bye, Daddy. Happy birthday to you. Cha, cha, cha. Happy birthday to you. Cha, cha, cha. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you. Daddy, I hope you have a great weekend. And you can eat a lot of food and try your best on your work. I hope you have a great weekend.
Oh, I love that slideshow. Next, we have Adriana Franco that will take us through the annual cycle of Get on the Bus. Adriana Franco grew up in Brazil, where she was a dentist. She is one of the 2 regional coordinators for Get on the Bus in Los Angeles. Prior to CRJW, she had more than 15 years of experience working on solutions to the problems of mass incarceration and social issues in Latin America. Adriana.
Thank you so much, Mary. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you so much, Mary, for the warm introduction. Today, we'll learn about the Get on the Bus cycle. Most of us just see one piece of the amazing program that takes the kids to celebrate Mother's and Father's Day. But it takes a lot of people and a lot of work to make it happen. So let's start our journey. Who are the people involved? The makers. They are the loved ones inside that send the applications to invite their families. The families that fill out the applications and come with us. We have the volunteers, sponsors and donors, the prison staff, and the Get on the Bus staff, all working together to make it possible. So here we have an annual overview because it takes one whole year to make it happen. From August to September, we start reaching out to the prisons, we start fundraising and recruiting our volunteers. From October to December, we receive the loved one applications, create the bus routes, and we keep fundraising. From January to March, we train the volunteers, we start contacting the families, and yes, we keep fundraising. April and June, we have the events. And yes, we have to still keep fundraising. On the next slides, we're gonna go one by one to learn about each event. So, from August to September, we're gonna reach out to the prisons. We're gonna go to the 14 institutions, and we're gonna meet with the loved ones representatives, the chaplains, and the prison staff. We're gonna promote attendance, leaving the flyers and the applications. From October to December, the office will receive the loved one applications. We're gonna separate it by addresses, and we're gonna create the bus routes. On the screen, we can see one of the applications. At the same time, from October to December, the regional coordinators, RCs, Angela, Lydia, Mary, Robert, and myself, Adriana, we're working to fundraise for the events. We're recruiting organizations, parishes, and volunteers to support the buses. And we're securing bus departure locations and in-kind donations like the teddy bears, the backpacks, and the food for the events. In January and March, we train our volunteers and they contact the families and contact the family paperwork. The volunteers also prepare the families for the trips. On this picture, we can see a group of volunteers from the Church of Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills. And in April and June, we have the events. Mary already described us a lot about the events. And this is an early departure. That's a bus. As you can see, the happiness and the energy is there. We go to 14 institutions, 11 Father's Day and 3 Mother's Day events that happened. And that was 2019, our last event. So inside the events, Mary already mentioned a lot of things that happened. We can see the pictures here. We have the face painting. We have the opportunity to hug. That's not what happened on a normal visit. And just to be together and continue with relationships or to start new ones. So now the numbers, what it takes to make a season happen. In 2019, we went to 14 institutions. We received more than 900 applications that generated 44 buses. more than 300 volunteers made it happen, that more than 1,400 participants could attend the events. The cost for that was around $440,000 or $300 per participants. So we need your help. We thank you for your support. And if you want to volunteer or help in any way, please do reach out for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Adriana, for your hard work on Get on the Bus process and for your huge heart for this work. I would like to give a very warm welcome to Manuel. Manuel is a Get on the Bus participant and a father, and he served 5 years in the CDCR system. Hi, Manuel.
Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for allowing me to give my story today. As you said, my name is Manuel Gomez. You know, I was devastated when I learned that I was going to Folsom State Prison. I had just gotten out of the SHU, and I knew that that meant that I wasn't going to visit. My family's from Los Angeles County, and as we know, Folsom is very, very far. It wasn't financially feasible for me to get a visit. As I was on the yard, I saw a Catholic priest walk across it, and I was ecstatic to see that there was a priest on this yard. It was one of the few yards in CDCR that has a full-time on-staff priest. I didn't realize I'd be working for them in the next few weeks. And, you know, I stayed there and worked for them for a few years. And during that process, I discovered the Get on the Bus program. When I found out about it, I was in the office as a clerk. You know, I'm receiving the applications and I'm jumping up and down with joy because I knew that getting a visit was probably going to be a possibility. You know, I was one of the first guys trying to fill out the application, making sure that I'd get that coveted spot. And it became a reality. For me, having a visit was very important because I was incarcerated on my daughter's birthday. I never got to say goodbye. I left in the middle of her celebration, and for me, that was a devastating moment. But Get on the Bus gave me that opportunity to ensure that I could mend some of that damage that I did, to heal some of that trauma, to have that one day where the darkness would disappear from being in the prison system and being in the visits. You know, I made a lot of poor choices due to my, due to a lot of PTSD that I got from the military, but at the end of the day, those choices ended me up in prison. The reality is that I was the one that made those choices, not my children, but they're still the ones who fall under the shackles of incarceration. They're still the ones who feel that pain of not having a father. And Get on the Bus gave me that opportunity to be there for them for that one day, to be able to explain to them how sorry I was for the wrongs that I did to them. It was an absolutely wonderful day. It happened in 2008, and it meant so much to my daughter that even 2 years later, I can show you guys, she still has that blue backpack from that visit. It's 2 years later, and it's pretty beat up. As you can see, she tries to use it all the time. That's how much Get on the Bus meant to her. That's how much it meant to our family. It gave us that one moment for us to heal those wounds. And it gave me the opportunity to realize that I needed to change my life. Because at that time, as we know, being in prison, we still sometimes continue to make those poor choices because we don't see hope in that desolate environment. But for me, I decided to change, and I'm here as a free man today, working to make a change for myself, my family, and others. And each day is a struggle, but these programs give us the opportunity to heal and to seek hope and to really reunify our families. So thank you so much for the opportunity for allowing me to speak today. I'm very thankful for Get on the Bus. And I'm glad to share today that I just graduated college. I'm going to pursue a master's in social work to continue, you know, healing some of that trauma. So that seed that was planted, you know, is making a tree. So thank you so much for everyone, especially, you know, Mary and David and Adriana and Daryl and all the RCs for coordinating this program. Just have a great day.
Oh, Manuel, thank you so much for sharing your story. That story just gets right to my heart. Oh my goodness. So I'd like to transition now to something that Adriana said, which is super important to our organization, and that's the word volunteers. So I would like to introduce Daryl. So Daryl Grigsby. Daryl came as a volunteer bus coordinator to Get on the Bus in 2014. He was introduced to the program when he saw a booth set up outside his parish at Old Mission Church in San Luis Obispo. Daryl is now retired, but he worked as a public works director for the city of San Luis Obispo. Daryl happens to be one of our most beloved / problem-solving volunteers, which is voted unanimously by all the volunteers, kids, and families participating. Hey, Daryl.
Thanks, Mary. That's very kind of you, and welcome to everyone. I'm glad you guys are here. This is not the same as in person, but it certainly beats no meeting at all. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience as a volunteer. So as Mary mentioned, I volunteered about 6 years ago, and I was leaving Mass one Saturday evening and saw um, the board that's kind of the same as what you see behind Mary right now. There was a whole setup, and there were college students and all these people set up there. And I walked by the booths, um, and they were talking about get on the bus and you know how they needed volunteers. And you know, I mean, I had just come out of Mass, so what could I do? But to be totally honest, I was thinking, man, what did I just sign up for? I mean, I don't know anything about working in this kind of environment. What am I going to do? Um, this might be a little bit over my head. Um, but I have to say, after these years, you know, volunteering for Get on the Bus is definitely one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And here's why. You know, this is a big part of it is um, once you sign up for it, you're not trying to resolve these issues by yourself. You're part of a whole network of a ton of people with all kind of skills and all kind of abilities. I was, to be honest, the first few meetings I went to, I was in awe of just the commitment, sincerity, and depth of the of volunteering activities that people of all ages were doing, from junior high to senior citizens. It was really amazing. So that gave me some comfort that I'm, you know, I'm not just one person out here trying to solve a problem in an issue like this. Because to me, the challenge of keeping families connected is far beyond my own capabilities. But being part of that team is what gave me the strength and comfort that I could go forward with it. And you know, when the first year I signed, I mean, when I signed up, I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, you don't know what you're going to do. But my first year, I ended up being the bus coordinator for the bus coming from Los Angeles to San Luis Obispo. And you know, as part of the bus coordinator role is to go into prison. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know anything about this. What am I going to do? Um, but like Adriana said, and like Mary said, you know, this whole vibe of families coming together and all that they go through to fill the paperwork out, get a whole family on the bus, get up at 1 a.m, take a whole bus trip, and then you know the parent has to go through lots of requirements as well. So the desire of both parties to see each other. I mean, really, then your role as a volunteer is just to help them come together. That's all you're doing. So one and one thing that I definitely learned is like any party or any event that anybody ever does, you can expect something to go wrong. And there were several cases I would talk about, but there was one incident in particular where, you know, one of my jobs as a bus coordinator, as soon as the bus comes in, I greet the bus and then make sure everybody has the right clothes and the right paperwork, et cetera. And, you know, there was a 17-year-old who said, I don't have my paperwork. And I'm thinking, well, he's not going to get to go in. This is done. He just took a 9-hour trip for nothing. So, but we, for myself and others, worked with him, and we called his mother to get her to get some of the paperwork together. And then we worked with her to go to the bank and have it faxed to the CMC, California Men's Colony. And then there were several moments during which we thought this was never going to work. And unfortunately, if you don't have your paperwork together, even after your trip, all you do is sit outside while your parent is inside. But after 2 hours of lots of work and lots of prayer and lots of effort by lots of people, he walked in with his paperwork, got accepted by the folks at the front desk, and he got to go in. And I just want to say, being able to walk in with him after his brothers were already in there for 2 hours, to be able to walk in with him and see the smiles on his brothers' faces and his father's face and have them come together, that was really worth every moment of it. So, you know, the work of Get on the Bus that keeps families connected, both at Christmas and at Father's Day and Mother's Day. I mean, it's just, I cannot say enough about it. And to be honest, the pandemic created a lot of problems, but one was it was the first time in years I wasn't able to volunteer for Get on the Bus. And so, I mean, I'm really looking forward to being able to do that. And if you ever have the chance to volunteer for Get on the Bus, I highly recommend it, because all you do is become part of some of the most amazing people you're ever going to meet, both the volunteers and the families and the parents and the children. I mean, the courage that they have and the desire they have to stick together as a family is amazing. And I'll just say one last thing. A lot of the things that they end up doing for those 2 to 4 hours are things that most families take for granted. I mean, the ability to sit down and have your picture taken and have a meal and play a game. I mean, that's all that is, they just have that one time for 4 hours. But when you see that, how magnified it is just for those few moments, you realize that people's lives are changed through that. And so to be part of that, it's really gratifying. Thanks for letting me be part of this event. If you ever pass by that board, put your name on the sign-up sheet. Thank you all.
Thank you, Daryl. You are amazing. And in 2022, I'm expecting you to get off of a bus coming to CMC to visit us and join us again to volunteer. I can't wait for that time.
Totally going to happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Daryl.
Loving can hurt. Loving can hurt sometimes, but it's the only thing that I know. When it gets hard, you know it can get hard sometimes. It is the only thing that makes us feel alive. We keep this love in a photograph. We make these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, our hearts are never broken, time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Wait for me to come home. Loving can heal. Loving can mend your soul. And it's the only thing that I know. I swear it will get easier. Remember that with every piece of it. And it's the only thing we take with us when we die. Keep this love in its photograph. We made these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, our hearts were never broken, time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your...
That was a great slideshow. Went a little bit fast in parts to be able to read the quotes from the dads, but you can look back at our pre-recorded one and you can see some of the quotes that were by the children and the dads. I also want to let you know that while the children are visiting, they have a professional photo taken, which is given to a child, and we give them a frame to put in when they get home. And also one of the photos goes to the dad. So everyone gets a photo from the visit, which is also rare and very cherished. So it's with a full heart that I introduce a person that I refer to as my little ray of sunshine. Sister Teresa Harpin. Much of Sister Teresa Harpin's life work has been spent in social and restorative justice work. She holds a master's degree from the University of Notre Dame and is a certified facilitator for Alternatives to Violence Project, Victim Offender Dialogues, Aggression Replacement Training, and Thinking for a Change programs. In 2006, she joined the staff of Center for Restorative Justice Works and initiated the Get on the Bus program, reuniting children with their incarcerated dads at the California Men's Colony in San Luis Obispo, growing the program from one bus traveling from LA to 18 buses from all over California. The power of family reunification transformed her life, and working with those impacted by crime became her passion. In 2011, with the collaboration of the San Luis Obispo Sheriff's Office and Probation Department, Sister Teresa launched Restorative Partners, a nonprofit agency that offers healing and help to all of those impacted by crime in our county. Her vision provides professional and volunteer programming that engages the mind, body, and spirit in rehabilitation, recovery, and reentry. A big warm welcome to Sister T.
It is so wonderful to be with you. How exciting. I feel like I am with my first family. And so I did have the privilege of working for the Center of Restorative Justice Works and Get on the Bus, specifically from 2006 to 2011. And you know, during those first 3 years of the organization, we launched not only the program at CMC, but the following year at CTF, and the following year after that, Salinas Valley State Prison. There were many, many growing pains and sharp learning curves to get these prisons to embrace Get on the Bus. But I tell you, nothing, I mean nothing, compares to the joy of reuniting children with their parents. There's nothing like it that Get on the Bus provides. I recall meeting a 37-year-old woman who, before riding the bus, really wrestled with the whole idea about going into a prison to visit her loved one. She had traveled all night, like many do, had a lot of anxiety before she came into the prison, as this was not only her first trip to CMC, it was her first visit with her dad since she was 3 years old. Just imagine meeting your dad basically for the first time. It took a minute or so, as our folks like to put it, for them to settle into their visit. But soon the awkwardness, the time lapse, that all melted away. And there was just one daughter talking to one dad and totally immersed in the present moment, a timeless, liminal space moment of love. I remember meeting a young man about 16 years old. He told me that soon after his birth, he was adopted out. Now, wanting to protect their new son, these parents were not in favor of their son being in touch with his birth father, let alone visit him in prison. His prisoner dad continued to write his son, but the son never got the letters as they were kept from him by his parents. But soon after his 16th birthday, his adopted parents handed him a box full of the kept letters and told him if he wanted to make contact, it was okay with them. He came on the Get on the Bus event to CMC, and I personally got to witness their introduction and their warm, tearful, first ever embrace. They really looked a lot alike. And from that moment on, they were joined at the hip the whole afternoon. My third little vignette is a story about an uncle and a nephew who were cellies. And in case you don't know what that means, they shared the same prison room at CMC East. Can you imagine you're a teenager sharing a prison cell with your uncle? Well, they knew each other, but their families had never met until Get on the Bus brought one family from Northern California and the other from the South to CMC for Father's Day. I witnessed nieces, nephews, cousins, sisters, and brothers all reunited because GOTB provided a means and a way. You know, it really doesn't get any sweeter than that moment in prison with these families. You see, folks, prisoners do not live in a vacuum. Before they were arrested, they were part of a whole network of relationships, communities, family, and oftentimes a child's life. The needs of children with incarcerated parents are often overlooked in the current criminal justice system. And these children are innocent victims of crime. Their lives, their human development, parental bond, and a sense of home are all altered by circumstances completely beyond their control. These children have done nothing wrong, and yet they are serving time. For some, even a life sentence away from their loved one, their parent. We know Get on the Bus works because we hear back from GOTB families who've participated in the program. They have maintained relationships because their dad was provided a way and a means to stay in contact, not only in the visit, but in follow-up days and months later. We know it brings families together to build relationships that are so critical. So when the dad leaves and returns home, he returns home to a family that know him and he knows. So critical in reentry. I currently work with men and women coming out of state prison. We house over 50 people every night. Family reunification is at the top of their to-do list. So the more you support families inside while they're preparing to come home, the better and easier of the job it is for me in helping their reentry be successful. So please support Get on the Bus with everything you've got, volunteering, donations. There's something everybody can do in this program. In fact, that's what volunteers used to say to me. Gee, sister, everyone can volunteer for Get on the Bus. And that's true. So make a point of it. Sign up now. Give now.
Oh, thank you so much, Sister T. You are a rock star. I'm so appreciative for you being here. I really, really can't say it enough. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
That I mentioned, it would be a gift. We are so grateful that you have all joined us tonight. You have a friend who was unable to be with us. We will post a link to our social media so they can watch the recording of tonight. Last but on the journey to an event inside Salinas Valley Men's Prison, where our Get on the Bus takes place and will take place again at all of our other prisons as well, beginning 2022. Thanks.
So you have family on the outside?
But yeah, I have a lot of family on the outside.
Specifically a child.
Yes, a 3-year-old daughter.
And you can tell us her name?
Her name is Cherish Morris.
And have you ever met Cherish to this point?
Actually, I haven't been able to meet her up to this point.
She doesn't know her father, so she only sees his high school pictures of him, and he's living through the pictures that I sent him.
I haven't seen my daughter in, I think she said 15 years.
My dad's been in jail since I was 2, and he was 18, so it's been a life journey.
God raising my child is the biggest regret of my life because I didn't get a chance to do the promise I made to myself. I left her out there.
We as a state can't afford to go round up all of these children and bring them to their fathers for Father's Day. We can't afford to do that. We don't have the resources. We don't have the manpower. It's not even possible. But when outside entities like Get on the Bus come around and provide this kind of what I'm going to call a blessing to our population and to our institution, that's where the magic happens.
One of the biggest problems you have in prison is sometimes lack of hope. That's the biggest factor, is hope. If you have no hope, you have nothing. So that's what this program provides, is hope.
With the Get on the Bus program, I was really excited about it. There's so much anticipation being built up for the event, not only from the inmates, but from the family members and the staff.
Without this program, then I would have to wait till maybe December or either next April just to even see my daughter. And then I know it's just not me that's struggling with not seeing their loved ones or their family.
It's really going to be a pleasant experience. I can really just go from here, from my cell, and just sit with my son for 3, 4 to 5, 6 hours and enjoy being in his presence.
My family, that's what keeps me going up in here. If I don't got nothing to look forward to, it's like I don't got nothing to lose. So by me saying that, it keep me calm, motivated, trying to do better.
This actually boosts my self-esteem a lot higher than what it was, just for the simple fact that I'll be able to see her and actually physically be there with her. And it'll be more so as a wake-up call to keep pushing towards the homeward bound.
What was it like seeing your daughter today? You're not seeing her for 15 years.
I'm so proud that she's the young woman that she is. I'm so proud that I have grandchildren. I have grandkids.
The Get on the Bus program, my take on is that it'll continue to happen here for a very, very long period of time.
One of the things that we'd like to do is allow that program to broaden and maybe be part of more of our prisons or institutions throughout the state.
The Get on the Bus program is a heaven sent. This came from God.
To all of you out there, I want to take a minute to thank you for joining our special Father's Day event today. My name is Dave Ritter. I'm the development coordinator at CRJW, the parent organization for Get on the Bus. And I want to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. I know some of you have questions about how to connect with your loved ones on the inside. Please contact us at CRJW to help you with video visits. We are here to help. And as you can see, there are so many people in this community who do this work because we love this work, we love the people, and we care about building stronger families and communities. So I hope that you'll continue to support us as we move forward on this journey. And again, I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day weekend. Stay safe and be well. Bye-bye.